The Welsh are back at the World Cup for the first time in 64 years and begin against the USA, while Iran go into a third straight tournament under the leadership of Carlos Queiroz.
In Group C, it's Argentina against Mexico, Poland and Saudi Arabia. Captain Lionel Messi goes into his 5th World Cup, aiming to help his side extend a record 36-game unbeaten run. Led by their own star forward Robert Lewandowski, Poland start against Mexico, who've been eliminated at the round of 16 at the last 7 World Cups. In Group D, France, Australia and Denmark have been drawn together for a 2nd straight tournament, where they'll be joined by Tunisia. Reigning champions France begin their title defence against Australia, who can call upon the experience of Tim Cahill as their head of delegation. He scored 5 goals across 4 World Cups, but it's his strike against the Netherlands in 2014 for which he's best remembered.
A stunning volley, but not enough to avoid defeat for the Australians in that encounter as they went out at the group stage. At that World Cup in Brazil back in 2014, it was Germany that went on to win the title. 8 years later, they're in a tough Group E with Costa Rica, Japan and Spain. Captain Sergio Busquets is now the only remaining member from Spain's 2010 World Cup winning squad. Costa Rica returned to the Ahmad bin Ali Stadium for their game with Japan, 5 months on from their dramatic playoff qualification win over New Zealand. In Group F, European heavyweights Belgium and Croatia are joined by Morocco.
Well, a long way on the other side of the world. We apologize for the technical difficulties that some just recently experienced. Fortunately, guys, there were no technical difficulties. The connection was clear when the President of the United States called this U.S. men's national team as they were gathered last night. It's been a tradition before the World Cup that each of you have been a part of. Lexi, what do you remember?
Ours happened during the World Cup back in the 1900s, if I remember correctly, in the summer of '94, getting ready to play Brazil at the Holiday Inn in Palo Alto, California. President Clinton called us. Our head of comms, Dean Linke, actually picked the phone up and then promptly hung up on him. We called him back. Tony Meola rectified the situation, saying that John Hurks had played a trick on it. But listen, this is, regardless of your political persuasion, this is the leader of your country calling you to let you know that he and millions of others are invested. So it's a demarcation of how important this game is. And look, this is a person that you at times have grown up with, that you have seen, that is, leading what I feel is the greatest country in the world. And for players, it really, really stresses how much attention there is going to be, that not only is the president of your country going to be watching it, but millions and millions of people across the country are going to be watching it.
What do you remember, Clint?
I remember 2010, being in South Africa, 2014, being in Brazil, and President Obama giving us a call. It lets you know how important this moment is and that the country has your back, and to go out there and get the job done. I remember growing up in Nacogdoches where everybody would talk about, why are you playing soccer? And to go from that to the president calling you, talking in front of your team is pretty special.
As Lex said, it is perhaps the greatest imprimatur you can receive to let you know that the leader of the nation is watching and supporting you. We will have so much more as we continue to count down England against Iran here on day 2 from Qatar.
Dear Santa, I know I asked for a lot last year, but this year is different. All I want is the U.S. to win the World Cup. This is the team that's going to make a run. All we have to do is believe. That's like your whole thing. You seen this?
There's more. my A1C stayed here, it needed to be here.
Ray's A1C is down with Rybelsus.
I'm down with Rybelsus.
My A1C is down with Rybelsus.
In a clinical study, once daily Rybelsus significantly lowered A1C better than a leading branded pill. In the same study, people taking Rybelsus lost more weight. Rybelsus isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. Don't take Rybelsus if you or your family ever had medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2 or if allergic to it. Stop Rybelsus and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Gallbladder problems may occur. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes. Taking Rybelsus with a sulfonylurea or insulin increases low blood sugar risk. Side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems.
Need to get your A1C down?
A1C down with Rybelsus. You may pay as little as $10 per prescription.
COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too, by asking your healthcare provider if an oral treatment is right for you. Oral treatments can be taken at home and must be taken within 5 days from when symptoms first appear. If you have symptoms of COVID-19, even if they're mild, don't wait. Get tested quickly.
Hold on, everybody. I got to get a link from over here real quick. Good morning. Good morning. Let me grab this link that I need. Because the only things I think should be your style. Pop, pop, fizz, fizz. With Alka-Seltzer Plus, cold and flu relief. Didn't know I didn't have this link for that I needed for over here.
Consistent amount of scent, day after day for 40 days. Won't overwhelm, won't fade away. Febreze car. Love it or get your money back.
All right, I'm gonna change your world.
That's gonna be interesting.
Let's go. I loved root for great.
Yeah.
I want to watch history.
Ooh.
You want to root for the underdog. Good luck with that. In sports, people hate what they fear. They hate Brady. They hate LeBron. I've got a lot of haters.
Truth hurts sometimes.
I'm controversial when I don't even mean to be. It doesn't matter how many times I'm right. You'll still argue with me. This is The Herd.
Welcome back to day 2 of the 2022 FIFA World Cup here in Qatar. So much anticipation, so much expectation for so many of the nations competing in the biggest sporting event in the world. But perhaps no team under greater scrutiny and expectation than the Three Lions. Back at the desk, joined by our 3 legends. And with that, perhaps no one under a greater microscope than Harry Kane. He's placed himself there, despite what has been at times a journey where he was doubted over and over again, where he was overlooked, cut by his youth academy team, loaned out earlier in his career. Some of you have been right there with him for parts of this journey. We had the chance to sit down with him about a month ago as he talked about the journey. But now, match day is here. Kelly, I begin with you. What's the size of the burden on Harry Kane?
It's massive, but he enjoys that pressure. He's the talisman of England, the captain, the leader, the go-to player, brilliant footballer, great footballing brain. Sometimes likes to come deep into the hole, into the pocket, to create things, spray the ball out wide, then gets himself on the end of crosses. You know, he's a fantastic player. His mentality, like you said, to go out on loan so many times. For any child looking at this player, there's setbacks, there's knockbacks. It's how you deal with them. And he's worked and grafted, hard work, graft to get to where he is.
Yeah, I mean, like you talked about, he's worked for it. Heavy as a head that wears the crown, but he's built for this. And what's helped him get to that level is going through those setbacks and not making teams. I remember my time with him at Tottenham, trying to get into the team with Jermaine Defoe and Adebayor, and he wasn't getting a sniff. But to look to where he's come to, getting Golden Boot of the last World Cup, about to break the record for England, being one of the best strikers in the world, it's great to see, and he'll be up for it, and he'll be ready to keep things moving in the right direction.
Well, as mentioned, we did have the opportunity to sit down with Harry Kane and talk a bit about that journey and what he went through. That was done in partnership with Stats Sports, the world's leading GPS tracking system for athletes. Here, Kane shares some of his journey with us. choose to partner with Stat Sports?
I'm always looking to improve. I'm always looking to be better. And Stat Sports just help me do that, you know, whether it's looking at distance covered in a game, looking at my high speed running, trying to just get quicker, get better. All those things add up over a season for me and can make the difference between winning and losing. So to have that technology and data just there in your hands after every session, every game, it's huge, really.
What was the first dream for Harry Kane as a lad?
Playing for England was always something I dreamed about. I was a huge England fan growing up and so passionate about our country, would watch every major tournament, every game, and just dream of one day being out there wearing the Three Lions, and been fortunate enough to do that now on many occasions, and I never take it for granted.
The world sees Harry Kane now, but then he was a player let go by Arsenal's academy, loaned out 3 times by Tottenham, a player for whom success was neither straight, nor quick, nor certain. What's the value of failure?
It's so important, and it's strange to say that because, of course, it's all about winning, and you have to fail to be able to achieve that. And I think that's definitely something that I've done over my whole life, really. You know, from a young kid, whether it was being rejected when I was younger, or having to go out on loan and face different experiences. People are talking about you and trying to put you down. And I guess if you've experienced that at a younger age, I was 18 or 19 at the time. I had to be really resilient, and self-belief was a huge part of that. I look back now, and that's what made me be here and play all those games for Tottenham and play for England and be England captain, because those struggles were the moments that got me through and pushed me to another level.
The level now verges on legend.
Harry Kane, one-on-one, extraordinary. It's white-hot Kane.
Kane has won the Golden Boot 3 times as the Premier League's leading scorer, helping to lead his club with each season.
How would you describe the weight of the 10 shirt?
It's big, I think. I wanted it because it represents a lot of great players that Tottenham have had, and it's only a number, but people look at it as what type of player you are as well, and hopefully other teams look at that and see me in that, and maybe puts a bit of doubt in their head.
From club to country.
50 England goals for Harry Kane, and now only one man in history has scored more goals for the Three Lions.
Kane has been at his best when it's meant the most, playing for England.
You're on the cusp of something remarkable and historic. What would it mean to become England's all-time leading scorer, Harry?
Yeah, it'll be such a proud moment. You know, I'm trying not to think about it too much because I don't like to think too far ahead. It could be against the US, you never know, the second game there, but the World Cup's big enough as it is, and it'd be a real special place to break that record, so it'd be such a proud moment for me.
Only makes sense that Harry Kane is our ultimate scoring machine, sponsored by BMW. Lex, we saw a little bit about the journey. We heard Harry Kane. What separates this man?
Well, look, the only stat I care about is the ball in the back of the net, and nobody has done it better. Well, few people have done it better, and when all is said and done, he may be the best when it comes to England with his just prolific goal-scoring ability. What sets him apart is all elite goal scorers, they give confidence to everyone else. So when I walk on the field with Kelly, if I was so lucky to be able to play with Kelly, for example, I know when I go out on the field, because of what she has done on a consistent basis, that she is going to score. And as a defender, that is incredibly valuable to me, because I know if I keep a clean sheet, we're already basically up 1-0. And that's what Harry Kane does. He gives incredible confidence to everybody that he plays with, because you can look at that guy, you know what? That guy, at some point, all right, is going to put the ball in the back of the net. Even if he's not even having a great game, he's got that gift from the soccer gods. The most valuable thing in our game is scoring goals. It's why they're paid all the money. It's why they get all the attention.
If and when does he break the record?
Oh, he could do it tonight.
2 tonight?
Sure. Him scoring 2 goals tonight. He does it within the group stage, for sure.
I'd love that, Lexi. I'd love that. Please.
Not a surprising response there from Kelly. Well, we have so much more to come. The players to watch as we continue to count down toward England and Iran. Our first matchup in our triple header here on day 2 in Doha.
Are you kidding me? Is that for me? Huh? Oh, can't wait to see what you got your mother.
The BMW Road Home Sales Event, on now. Receive a lease loyalty credit of up to $3,250 on select models now through November 30th.
Let me show you something.
Let me show you something. It's a good life, it's a good vibe, it's a good time. Yo, let me show you something. Yo, let me show you something. Yo, let me show you something. Yo, let me show you something.
Let me show you something.
Come seek the Royal Caribbean.
I was thinking that you and I have come to a little arrangement. What you call a team up.
Feel good to get that out?
So satisfying.
All the heroics in one place. See where it takes you. Prime Video.
Good morning, America. Rise and shine. All across the country, we're getting up early this year with one thing on our mind.
Football! Welcome in. Good morning to everybody. We're kind of getting started on our pregame hangout this morning. What's up, Kenneth? Stephanie, hello. Jesse, hello. Jeff's in here this morning. Good to see you guys. Going to be a fun day. Don't know what this is going to bring. We'll figure it out as we go along. Going to try to have a good quality broadcast here on World Cup soccer, prepping for United States later today. So that should be fun. We'll have data coming up on the screen throughout the game. I'll be in here with you, reacting, following, trying to figure this whole thing out as we go through. And so we'll, do the usuals, the likes, the shares, the follows, all that kind of good stuff as we meet people. Hopefully as some new people come in, we'll get to meet some new soccer people from around the world if we get lucky enough to get a little bit of a share out this morning. Don't know if we will. I never know what this is going to bring as far as doing a new sport. We just hope that that works out and goes well, which I'm sure it will. So this should be interesting. Stephanie sent me some notes to have, which was grateful. Thank you, Stephanie. Also, just so you know, the channel you sent me, that person and I don't see eye to eye. He was helping me with some stuff and then disappeared when I stopped paying. When I stopped offering him money, he offered to help me for free for first, and then just disappeared. So he does a great job. He's an incredible broadcaster. Incredible. Does soccer better than anybody I've ever met. But just disappointed in the fact that just stopped returning calls. So wish him the best, though. Wish him the best. So, all right, back in here. Let's listen to some pregame.
Leader, he scored 6 goals last World Cup, so we know he can do it in big tournaments. He's 2 away from Wayne Rooney's goal scoring record. That could be a pressure, but as I said before, he likes that pressure. He'll want to get that goal scoring record potentially in this game. But what I love about him is his hold-up play. He brings other players into the game. He can turn, he spin. He scores goals with his head, with his left foot, his right foot. He's fantastic at penalties. He scored 3 penalties last World Cup. He's just an excellent number 9.
Yeah, Jude Bellingham stands out for me. At only 19 years old, just reminding you of the midfielders of old, Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, box to box. You look at what he's done this season, 9 goals in 22 games. Him in that partnership in the midfield with Declan Rice. I mean, that's one of the strongest center midfield pairings. And I'm looking forward to that matchup today, but also that matchup against the U.S. because I think that's where we're the strongest, is in our midfield with Tyler Adams, Musa, and McKinney. So great player, a lot on his shoulders, but at 19, being able to deliver like he does is pretty special.
Look, it could be a very long night for Iran here, but you need somebody in goal. England's going to have plenty of the ball. They're going to have probably a bunch of chances. Ali Reza Bayranvand. This is an incredible story, okay? This is when he was a kid, he grew up in a nomadic type of family, shepherding type of family. He wanted to play soccer. His father found out he was playing soccer, tore up his gloves, did not want him to do it, said, "You're going to be a shepherd." He said, "No, I'm out of here." He left his house, he ran away, became a soccer player, now playing in the World Cup. He is going to be called upon tonight to keep them in the game if they're going to stay in the game.
The shepherd of a different kind right now, following the dream all the way here to Qatar. Well, England with an illustrious supporter in the house. David Beckham in attendance, the legend, as the Three Lions begin their World Cup campaign. Walkouts and anthems next.
The world doesn't come together like this very often. But when it does, the results can be extraordinary. Qatar is committed to that idea and growing its potential as a partner, investor, and innovator with possibilities that are unlimited and rewards that are priceless. Let the world play and become part of our story.
New customers get our best deals on all smartphones.
That's right, but what if I'm already a customer? Oh, no problem. Hey, Cam.
There.
Same deal. Yeah, it's kind of our thing.
Oh, it's a great deal. What if I'm new to AT&T?
Cam, can...
Oh, nice.
Hey, but what about for existing customers?
All right, we're about 11 to 12 minutes out. 11 to 12 minutes out of the first kick for England and Iran. Yesterday was the first game. That game wasn't much of a game. It was kind of all one-sided. So we'll see how this one goes. Hopefully it's competitively good. And we're ready. We've got things together. Again, thank you to Stephanie for some great support on email. Really appreciate that. And we'll figure this thing out together. We'll figure this thing out together once we get going. I got a separate scoreboard in there because it gave me a better time clock. We'll see. Hopefully that will come up without me having to refresh. We'll figure that out. Again, this is all the work in progress as we go. USA and Wales play today at 1 o'clock Eastern. I guess I'll get to take a nap in between. Since it was a late night last night. Some of these commercials for this World Cup are a little bit different than some of the normal ones. So that's kind of interesting. People sitting in a hot tub. So there's been no commercials during this. It's straightforward through pretty much. So that's one thing that's a little bit different than our norm that we see. One thing it is different. Hopefully this will be the last commercial set before we go.
Perfection. A pile of English joy.
there as we approach kickoff at Khalifa International Stadium. England about to square off against Iran in the opening match in Group B. A massive tilt for both sides. Plenty of excitement for this one. We get this close to match. We see the fan excitement. We'll drop you inside Khalifa International. But as the moments tick down, Clint, take us inside what's going through a player.
I mean, the goosebumps on the back of your neck start to stand up. You're in the tunnel, and you know that the hay's in the barn. The work has been done. And you're looking at your teammates in the eyes, and you know that you're getting ready for battle. You're getting to represent your country. There's no bigger stage than this. Go out there, leave it on the field, and come back in with no regrets.
Kelly, how do you stay calm in that setting? Or do you want to?
Yeah, you want to stay calm. You don't want to lose your head, be nervous, too many sweaty palms, so to speak. But these players are very experienced. They played in big games, you know, World Cups, Euros, Champions League. So it's just about going out, relaxing, taking deep breaths, seeing your family members. That was always important to me, to relax you. And then the first thing that you want to do is make a good connection with the pass. You know, connect to a teammate.
We talked about the pressure that England is under, and Iran is experiencing pressure too, but it's about what's between your ears, right? Can you turn it from that burden that it certainly can be into some sort of motivation for the opportunity that exists in the palm of your hand as you're walking out onto a World Cup field, some for the first time?
Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, please rise if you can for the national anthem of England.
Kickoff right around the corner. Ian Dark and Landon Donovan have the call in 60 seconds from now.
1 minute, 1 minute.
Our first match, England, Iran, coming right up.
Cup 2022,
Now, this is
everybody.
an upgrade.
Hopefully we'll get some the websites will update here in just a minute.
Travel upgrades and private events. Chase Sapphire Reserve. Chase. Make more what's yours.
To name yourself after the highest peak in North America, maybe that's audacity.
We'll wait till they kick in and see how the data comes up here on the screen. Should be kicking in here in about 45 seconds. Yes. First ever soccer game. You're part of history for our channel, right? I guess. In a small way. Hopefully we'll get better over time. I know there's other creators that are better than what I do on this. I'll be generic in a lot of the ways, but I'm going to try to have some fun with it.
At this World Cup against Iran. Can England end the 56 years of hurt? That's their lineup today. World Cup debuts for 19-year-old Jude Bellingham, Bukayo Saka, Mason Mount and Declan Rice. Kyle Walker still not fit.
Yeah, very interesting. Gareth Southgate wants to stick with Harry Maguire, as we talked about in the pregame, Ian. Big challenge for him. He loves him. We'll see if he's up to it. Only 3
Hopefully
Premier League starts this season.
So that's the England team. Let's have a look at Iran, and it's quite a surprise lineup. Star striker Sadar Azmoun is still not fit after a calf injury, and there are 2 players there who didn't play at all in qualifying, Cheshmi and Karimi.
Yeah, Carlos Queiroz has made his statement very clear on the players he likes and who he doesn't like. But again, if they're going to cause England any problems, it's likely through Taremi.
Very pleasant conditions in the arena here. I have to tell you, there is the question of whether the Iran players will perform amid the volatile protests for change in their country. None of them sang the national anthem. There's their coach, Carlos Queiroz, taking charge of Iran for the 3rd time at a World Cup. He was only reappointed 2 months ago amid the turmoil at the Iranian Federation.
All right, here we go. We'll see how long it takes for the websites to catch up.
The England players have decided to take the knee in a statement against all forms of discrimination. Iran in all red here, getting us underway. Yet to ever advance from the group stage, though they did get 4 points and were a little bit unlucky not to do so 4 years ago. England semi-finalists at the last World Cup, finalists at the European Championships, which were only 16 months ago. Can they go one better and win the World Cup? Here's Declan Rice. Harry Maguire has been the subject of, well, you'd have to call it really a hate campaign among some fans. He's rarely been picked by Manchester United this season, only 3 times in the Premier League. John Stones to Kieran Trippier. Trippier replaced now for Newcastle United. He's been in prime form and his team are up in 3rd place in the Premier League. I think we can see Iran's intentions very early on here.
I think within a minute, Ian, you see what likely 90 minutes are going to look like. The only caveat, of course, if England get a goal too early, Iran will eventually have to come out. But
what's up, Rob?
Expect a lot of this.
Well, they drew with Portugal at the last World Cup, and they very nearly drew with Spain as well. Goal disallowed on a fractional offside division. Carlos Queiroz, a former number 2 at Manchester United, a former Real Madrid manager, a former Portugal manager. He knows how to set teams up to frustrate. Trippier looking to get an early ball in here. Saka was arriving, and so was Sterling, picked up by Bellingham.
If you're new to us, help us out with a subscribe today. Come back and join us. All the matches we're going to do, as many as we can.
Picture getting the nod here. He came on and made quite a big difference in the last England game, a 3-3 thriller against Germany.
On that cross from Trippier, England had just Harry Kane in the box. Raheem Sterling arrived late, but they got to get more numbers in the box. When they get chances like that wide, you got to put numbers into the box. You're not going to get a lot of opportunity centrally today.
How's the sound? Can I get a sound check out there?
First set piece then for England. And it's too long for everybody. Maguire claims he was being fouled there. A lot of the England players are making protests to the referee.
Good deal. They're all over the referee.
Nothing doing, I don't think, though.
I think Stones and Maguire both. And it looks like...
Thank you, Kenneth. Everybody, thank you.
A Brazilian referee may be looking at it.
Well, that was Cheshmi holding on there for dear life. Will he be sent to the monitor here? The referee, Rafael Klaus from Brazil, who earlier this season set 5 players off in one game.
There may have been 2 fouls there, Ian. One on Maguire, one on Stones.
You can see what Gareth Southgate thinks. What was Cheshmi thinking? They're going to say play on, because I guess they're saying not a clear and obvious error, but
they are hot.
It's crazy to try that, isn't it, Landon, when there are cameras everywhere.
Appreciate you, Jeff.
In today's day and age, Ian, you just very rarely get away with it. However, they did.
That was Cheshmi, the player involved. He was one of the players not involved at all in the qualification. And I have to say, this Iran team that Kirosh has picked here today has taken even seasoned watchers of this team very much by surprise. Race again. Rice might feel quite at home here because the setup in this stadium is rather like West Ham United's home in East London, the London Stadium. Here's John Stones of Manchester City. To Bukayo Saka, the youngster who is playing for the current league leaders in the Premier League, Arsenal.
I'm sure they got a lot of premier players in here, right? Obviously, throughout this tournament.
England have advanced from the group stage in 11 of their last 12 tries in the World Cup, the exception being 2014 when they were home before the postcards. Bottom of the group in Brazil. Stones again. Been playing right back for his club recently. Back in his usual England position here. Mount to spread it wide. Shaw to get the early cross away. Iran defending very, very deep. But they are good at it usually. They only let in 5 goals in 16 qualifying matches.
That's pretty good.
That's Hosseini. Happy to give away the throw-in the end. They'll only have Jahanbash and Taremi looking to break forward if they can ever get out of this shell.
That's where John Stones and Harry Maguire have to be really good. You saw Declan Rice end the counter quickly on that last service from Luke Shaw. End that counter quickly so you can spend more time doing this, just pinned in Iran's end until you eventually break them down.
Yeah, they've been in Iran's end the whole time.
Rice. Here's Saka. He's in the team, I think, because he does have that ability to go past players. Gets the free kick there. There were a lot of obstacles to try to get through there for Saka. closed him down very, very quickly. Taken quickly by Trippier to Kane.
Oh!
Maguire arriving on the back post there, couldn't direct it goalwards. It was a bit of a threat by Beiran Van, the goalkeeper, who's stayed down injured here.
We got an Iranian player and the goaltender down.
Sorry, I beg your pardon. Hosseini, that is down as well as Beiran Van.
When you have a team set up the way Iran are, so defensively and compact when England have the ball, these are the little types of plays that can make a difference. Can you have a quick free kick, a clever free kick?
Oh my God.
Put them under pressure in different ways.
There's a chance of sorts, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's better from Raheem Sterling, making the box. Declan
I got to record that.
You have to put them under pressure. It can't just be Harry Kane by himself.
I got to rewind that for a second. I want to record that. That's unbelievable. That collision, I'll share it with you guys.
Yeah, that's better from Raheem Sterling, making the box. Declan Rice making the box. You have to put them under pressure. It can't just be Harry Kane by himself. And obviously that time he's...
They're down for a bit here. Wow. I'm going to take this down for a second.
Free kick. Put them...
I'm going to bring up the volume so people can hear what's going on. This is crazy.
There's a chance of sorts, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's better from Raheem Sterling, making the box. Declan Rice making the box. You have to put them under pressure. It can't just be Harry Kane by himself. And obviously that time he's serving the ball.
Just a fingertip by the former Shepherd.
Wow.
Pressure in different ways.
There's a chance of sorts, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's better from Raheem Sterling, making the box. Declan Rice making the box. You have to put them under pressure. It can't just be Harry Kane by himself. And obviously that time he's serving the ball.
Just a fingertip by the former Shepherd, Alireza Beiran Van.
Unbelievable. All right, they're getting them back. They're getting both players back up. That's a mess. That goalie was crushed. Goalie was absolutely... What's FAP?
They boasted that the air conditioning would be good in the stadiums, and I can tell you it is.
I feel good. I have a suit on.
Yes, it's almost pleasant. Beiran Van struggling a little bit here.
He's a bloody mess.
So prolonged treatment for the Iranian goalkeeper who saved a Cristiano Ronaldo penalty in the last World Cup in Russia. He's a bit of an expert at that, and he also holds the Guinness Book of World Records for a throw out by a goalkeeper measuring over 60 yards.
Well, you remember a pretty special throw out at one point in 2010 from Mr. Tim Howard.
Yeah. Can't remember who scored that goal against Algeria.
It didn't need to go 60 yards, that's for sure.
Good to be reunited after all this time, Landon. We'll see later whether it's Go-Go USA this time.
Let's hope so.
I have to report that there's a lot of Iranian fans here, and there were some boos when the national anthem was played. You'll be aware of the protests going on in that country.
I can't tell, Ian, if there are more Iranian fans or England fans. It seems pretty even. However, the volume and cheering from the Iranian fans in pregame and during the anthems severely outweighed the English.
Well, it's only a 2-hour flight across the Gulf for them to come here to Doha. Quite a long gap in the proceedings. Now, they're going to have to be careful here that there's no concussion for Beiran Van, because that is quite a big issue, as you will have been hearing in football. Big campaign for temporary substitutions to be allowed while players are properly assessed, rather than them getting up and saying to the physio, well, I'm okay to carry on, because every player's going to say that, aren't they?
Of course they are, but that's why you have professionals to make those decisions.
And the officials are giving Bayern Van a full amount of time. They do have Hosseini, 30-year-old goalkeeper, who plays in the league here for Esteghlal. Dr. Joe, you've got a view on developments here.
Absolutely, Ian. And for the first time in the World Cup, FIFA will be allowing a concussion substitution, which means that if this goalkeeper has to be removed from the game as a result of a head injury, and a substitute goalkeeper comes in, that will not count as one of the 5 substitutions that they are allowed. And England will get an additional substitution opportunity as well.
Thank you for clearing that up. Yeah, that's an important point. So effectively, if Bayern Van has to go off, and that's starting to look increasingly likely, we're not.
He's still down.
We don't know.
I mean, wait till you see this collision.
6 substitutions in all. Well, they'll give him the maximum time, won't they? Because it is a head injury, and this has to be done properly. But he's been down now, I'd say, for over 5 or 6 minutes. It's the experienced Ehsan Haj-Safi who's leaning over his stricken teammate here amid some growing concern. Bayern Van happily has just got up, or partially got up at least. Are they going to make the change here, I wonder? Looks like it, doesn't it? That would be a big blow for Iran. Shafi's trying to revive him with some water, but I think it's a more complex issue than that, isn't it? And just to repeat what Dr. Joe just told us, that if Bayern Van does go off, it would not count as one of the 5 substitutions. It's like a free sub. Looks like they still haven't decided, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is really tough, Ian. It's
taking off the sweater now. Yeah,
it might be blood on it, but this is really tough, Ian. You're playing in a World Cup. Nobody wants to come out of a match. However, you're a human being first, and you have to be really careful and sure in these situations that he is indeed okay.
Wow! I mean, the collision is unreal. The short's right there. It'll be ready to go in a second. Holy hell!
Iran did bring 4 goalkeepers to this World Cup in their squad.
The collision was unbelievable.
I'm happy about that at this point.
Hit that subscribe today if you're new to my channel. We're going to be trying to do as many matches as we can. Hit us up, hit us up.
There is Hosseini. What about the players here, Landon? Because they've almost got to warm themselves up again after a delay this long.
You can see a bunch of them trying to move, stretch a little bit. It does play into the psyche a little bit. However, I would say
all right, here we go.
20 minutes in.
We're getting back into it. Let's go. Wow, that was crazy.
To regret.
And it looks like Bayern Van has gone down again. I give him a lot of credit. This is really difficult.
Oh, he just dropped.
Right there. Yeah, he's decided he's still not feeling
He
right.
just dropped on the ground.
It was a good one, Landon, that he didn't look really in any kind of condition to carry on, and I think he's decided that as well now.
Wow.
He will have planned this all meticulously. They are going to make the substitution. The signs are going out.
Man, that is a shame for Iran.
The question of why he was ever allowed to carry on.
He's down.
Yeah. Again,
they're bringing out medical attention. He just dropped.
You really can't let the player decide. It's it's not his choice in these moments because every player wants to stay in a game. Whether it's a friendly or a World Cup, every player feels the same. So you can't really let him decide.
They're bringing out the medical support stretcher to get him off the
for
field.
Temporary substitution, so a proper assessment can be made, but that is a debate to be carried on in other places, not at this World Cup match. You can see that the players now have got the ball out and are going through their own little mini warm-up again, just to maintain concentration.
Wow, look at that young lady. She's pretty.
I'm just curious if we have Dr. Joe around still. I'd be curious, do you get an extra substitution slot as well?
Oh, man, they just showed the replay again.
Does the slot
What's up, Flame Red?
sub go away and you get an extra sub?
Actually, Landon, you do get an extra substitution opportunity. This actually doesn't count as one of their 3 substitution opportunities, and England would get one also. What's interesting about this, you know, in
This is, if you haven't seen the video and you want to see the collision, it's right there in the chat as a short. I mean, it was one hell of a collision.
A player to be removed from the match. I thought coming into this tournament, FIFA was going to have that protocol in place, but it certainly didn't look like it happened today.
Yeah, it's a great point, Dr. Joe, and again, everyone's biased here. Beiranvand is biased, their doctors are. They're getting pressure from Kirosh maybe to leave him in the game. It looked like Haj Safi was petitioning him to keep him in the game. I think it's a great idea to have someone independent to make that decision because it's very dangerous.
I think it's going to spark a debate, isn't it, this whole incident. So on comes Hosseini. He's an experienced
good round of
goalkeeper.
applause
He's
for the
30 years
fans
of
there.
age, but it's only his 7th cap this for
Holy
Iran.
hell.
He was recalled to the squad after his club had won the title, Esteghlal.
I mean, they started to restart and then he just dropped.
Has been. Trippier. Now Bukayo Saka. England beaten only 3 times in their opening matches at the World Cup. The last time by Italy in Brazil in the Amazonian heat of Manaus. Jahanbash, player well known to the England players. He played for Brighton for a time, not with too much success, it should be said. First time these 2 countries have ever met, by the way.
Oh!
Taremi just got there first. He's very much the danger man. And Shafi to lay it inside. First time Iran have come into the England half. Mohammadi, that's the left wing back role. Again, but free kick's going to be given here to Iran. Have been questions about the form and fitness of players in the England defensive unit, and I wonder whether that will be tested in this group. Certainly the USA will have eyes on that. But when they meet on Friday.
Here comes a free kick.
Jahanbash, that was off the training ground, trying to fool England. Nurolahi, decent looking cross in as well. And Jahanbash again, pulled away by Saka for England. I think a lot of people, without doing their research on Iran, looked at this and thought, well, it's a bit of a formality for England. But if you look at Iran's World Cup record, though they haven't won too often in the competition, they've often been a big test.
And they were very good in Asian qualifying. They finished atop a group that included South Korea, who are also here. Second in goals, second in assists, expected goals, expected assists, only behind Japan in Asian qualifying. So this is a very good team.
England's tempo slow early on. Trying to tempt Iran to maybe come out to play a little bit, but I'm not sure they're going to be buying that. Maguire with the header. Later today on Fox, it's Senegal against the Netherlands, and the USA taking on Wales. Coverage starting at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific from those two games. You'll want to say somewhere near a television, with the USA making their first appearance at the competition. Massive game, of course. Shaw on the overlap here. Looking to get the early ball in. Bellingham goes for that one. Beaten to it by Cheshmi.
Going the other way.
One of Iran's jobs, of course, is to contain the man who won the Golden Boot at the last World Cup, Harry Kane, who scored 5 goals in the first 2 matches in Russia. Only one more after that, but it was enough. Nobody scored more than 8 at a World Cup since the great Brazilian Ronaldo in 2002. He got 8 that year. Landon, apart from the injury, I would think that Iran might be happy enough with this start to the game.
Extremely happy. Carlos Queiroz has to be very happy with this. They came after England like this one time, turned them over.
Oh, we got 2 players down again.
Had a decent set piece.
Yellow card.
But other than that, they've been pinned in their end. But they're happy and they're defending well.
First yellow card for Jahanbakhsh for this challenge on Luke Shaw.
Oh, step right on his ankle.
Only 2 yellows amounts to a 1-game ban, and they were being handed out, I noticed, quite liberally in that first game. So I wonder if we're going to end up with quite a long list of people who are being suspended. And this time it's Karimi, another of the surprise selections. Trippier, again, they're looking at that early free kick. Kane nearly managed to get it, but it was well intercepted. Here comes the attempted break from around with Mohammadi. Now Taremi. This referee, by the way, Landon, 10 red cards in his last 9 matches. 5 of them in 1 game. The Rio Derby Flamengo Fluminense. Saka. Bellingham. Saka trying to plot a way through, but it's congested with red shirts again. Karimi is the player down.
Rex.
I think anything that breaks the rhythm of the game is right up Carlos Queiroz's street, really, here. So you can expect the players to stay down a little longer than might be entirely necessary on occasion. Play towards Kane. Mount to spread the play. Here's Saka. And first involvement for the deputy goalkeeper, Hossein Hosseini.
Every goalkeeper and goalkeeper coach in the history of my career said, when you come into a game like this, you want one easy moment to get you settled. And that was certainly it for Hosseini. A simple cross into the box, fall on it, and now he's comfortable and into the match.
Hey, Crafty.
He's looking for Jahan Bash again. He does have some talent, Jahan Bash, but really able to show it when he came to the Premier League and played for Brighton, apart from one brilliant overhead bicycle kick goal against Chelsea. Saka, the latest player down in what has been a stop-start beginning to this game. We do thank you all for setting your alarm clocks and tuning in to this, particularly those of you out west.
Well, if you have 3 kids like me, you don't need an alarm clock. You're up anyway.
And this is a breakfast time offering, isn't it, really? Kickoff was 4 p.m. local time here just to the west of Doha. This is the only non-new stadium this World Cup. It's where Qatar play their national team games. It's also home to the excellent Aspire Academy.
If you're having a good time today, hit that subscribe, help us out. Come back for more matches.
Saka again. You can see how well drilled Iran are. England have to find the invention. Saka to the near post.
Oh, just off the post. Had an opportunity.
Still no breakthrough.
We saw this against Germany in their last match before the World Cup, really overloading the right side of the field. This is where they bring Sterling, Saka all together. Harry Kane, Mason Mount, all on this side of the field. It's really hard to defend against. They get their first real opportunity.
The US faces Wales in their opening World Cup match later today on Fox. Remember, coverage beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And vital that the USA get off to a good start, Landon.
Crucial. You're going to hear this stat all week with these first games. 84% of the time when you win your first match, you advance out of the group. So a huge game later this morning, afternoon in the States.
It's a heavy touch by Bellingham. Could have been a big problem. In the end, it wasn't. And here's Mount again, who's got the job of being the spark plug in the number 10 position. Short to his outside. Now all those red shirts have funneled back, but Trippier arrives. Headed on by Kane, he wouldn't drop for Saka. This young Bellingham, 9 goals for Borussia Dortmund this season already.
Again, Ian, through this right side of the field, you see Sterling coming all the way over, Saka inside, Trippier here, Kane here. For teams that defend zonally, which are most teams around the world, you just can't account for all the players on one side of the field. It's really difficult to defend, and England, another corner now, starting to pile on a little bit of pressure.
Trippier to take it. His dad's got the 30-foot flagpole in the garden with the England flag on again. In Bury, near Manchester. Poor Liganji's got something to say to the referee. Trippier's ball in, and Maguire hits the bar with his header. Nearly a dream beginning to the World Cup for the man who's been under the microscope, Harry Maguire. Mohammadi blocked off.
That was very close.
Ian, I couldn't tell if it was Maguire or Stones. They were both in the same area. Yeah, you're right, Maguire just beat his man to the spot. And by England complaining early about the holding,
went off the header bar.
Just makes Iran hesitate a second.
Top of the goal.
He's marking.
Nearly scoring for the third tournament running. He scored at the World Cup. He scored at the European Championships, Harry Maguire. And he is dangerous in the air. He's probably reflecting that's how his luck's been going this last year, but that bounces down from the underside of the crossbar. It's Mohammadi and Safi, who can play all over the place. Midfield today for him. He can do just as good a job at left back. Shaw of Manchester United, who was in the England squad 8 years ago when he was only 18. He's a Southampton player then. Quite a lot's happened to him in the interim, including a very nasty broken leg. Cheshmi doesn't clear it properly. Bellingham picks it up. England just beginning to find a slightly higher gear.
The reason why is they're allowing Jude Bellingham to float forward more. They're keeping Declan Rice by himself in there, which is plenty. With Stones, Maguire, and Rice, they're fine. Bellingham getting forward more again, overloading the right side of the field, and it's starting to cause Iran a lot of problems.
There's John Stones for England, who would be the betting favourites to go through in this group. Sterling wide, Shaw with the early ball.
Header! In the goal! There you go! First goal of the game!
The teenager! Great header, Landon.
Well, right on cue, Ian said Declan Rice was sitting there by himself, allowing Bellingham to get forward into the attack. This time they decide to use the left side of the field. Harry Maguire with a splitting pass here. Laid off well. Fantastic cross. Just glances it into the far post. 1-0 England.
Clever header that by Bellingham, the policeman's son from Stourbridge in the English Midlands. What a career is ahead of him. He was in Birmingham's team when he was 16 years old. Well, that is a moment, whatever happens in his career, he will never ever forget that. You know how it feels, Landon, scoring at the World Cup.
1-0 England.
Exactly what England wanted.
If you're new to us, hit that subscribe. Come back and join us for more matches.
Themselves into trouble there.
Here they come again.
Kane couldn't quite measure the ball.
We'll be live later today with
Mason Mount.
United States and Wales.
Sure with the setup, wasn't it, Landon?
Yeah, here it is again, and Harry Kane pulls away, leaving Bellingham to fill the space in the middle. I said early, when there's service into the box, you need to get runners into the box and put Iran under pressure. And that young man showed you why.
The youngest player in the squad with the breakthrough goal for England. Whose next game in this group is against the USA on Friday. Compulsive viewing, I would say that. Of course, England have never beaten the USA, have they? At a World Cup.
Thanks for reminding me.
It's true, isn't it?
Hey, Mike Shepard.
1950 and all that. One of the biggest biggest shocks in World Cup history. USA 1, England 0 in Belo Horizonte in Brazil. That 1-1 draw in 2010. Clint knows all about that one.
So you're just saying we're the better side?
To be decided, isn't it? That's why we play football matches. Kane looking for the little flick on. How does this change Iran's approach now? Because they were set up to get a goalless draw, or trying to.
It was my first thought after the goal went in. What is the game going to look like now? And it's hard to imagine Iran really pushing forward and leaving themselves exposed. You have to remember in these tournaments, Ian, goal differential does matters a lot. If you lose 1-0, can you still advance? Absolutely. And I think Iran will fancy their chances against the U.S. and Wales. So just be smart here. If you can find a way to get a goal, great. But you can't get blown out here, otherwise your tournament's likely over.
Yeah, you can't take a 4-0 hammering. There's no way back really from that, not realistically. Here's Bellingham again. We must be feeling $1 million after that goal. He's captain Borussia Dortmund already as well, once or twice, and he's only 19. Here's the return of World Cup tonight, all the day's highlights, special guests and World Cup fun with Kate Abdo, Mo Edu, and America's World Cup fan Chad Ochocinco, who gets to the matches, including tonight's USA-Wales match. That's tonight at midnight on Fox. One or two talking points from this one as well. Rice, Nurulahi's going to chase it from his midfield perch. They've got 5 strung across the midfield. That one's too long for Harry Kane. England needed a last-minute goal from him in their opener in Russia against Tunisia. Uhurahi into Nurulahi. He's crossed towards Taremi. Taremi has 5 Champions League goals for Porto this season. He does know how to finish. That's level of the Champions League goals of Erling Haaland and Robert Lewandowski. It's not bad, is it?
It's decent company.
Yeah. Saka.
Oh, we got a penalty.
He's penalised for that. It's a little bit of a let-off, I would say, there for Majid Hosseini. Is there much in this? Let's have a look. Yeah, he pulls him a little, doesn't he? Was a little, wasn't it?
I was a striker, that's not fair.
You strikers knew how to look after yourselves. That's the whisper I always hear. Just let the defenders know you're around. There's Harry Maguire. Pretty much total dominance by England, isn't it?
This is intense.
It's a good ball from.
I'm enjoying this.
Reverse pass out of defence to Luke Shaw, who set up the goal with a lovely cross. Bellingham did the rest.
When England do break pressure there, they need to look vertical and direct. Luke Shaw had Raheem Sterling in all by himself there. The goal of beating pressure is not to look pretty, it's to hurt teams the other way if they're going to come after you. And if Iran start to do that, England have to be vertical when they do break pressure and go score the goal.
Shaw seeing a lot of the ball. It's on that left-hand side. Stones again. He scored twice against Panama 4 years ago when England won by 6 goals to 1 in the group. Knows how to pass. It's a good one too to Shaw.
Oh.
Mahorami was there. Not a good ball, though. Out. Mount tries to feed Sterling, and Iran are happy to concede the corner.
Yeah, corner.
The Iranians looking stretched. Thousands of their fans here.
You're probably a little ahead of us, Rob, because you're getting it live feed.
The national anthem.
Direct feed.
Report. Shaw with another cross. Maguire again won the header.
Boom! Right there. Wow.
And it's claiming a push, aren't they? The Iranian defenders here, they want the VAR to have a look at this.
Well, England have been menacing all day on set pieces. Claiming a push, I don't see anything there. Harry Maguire makes another play. He's been excellent so far, Ian. And look at this finish by Saka, maybe a little deflected. 2-0, England.
Les calling Dr. Joe. Do you see anything wrong with this?
Well, pushing and holding in the penalty area on corner kicks has always been a concern of FIFA, but I don't see anything that rises to the level of what we saw on the first corner kick of the match. Certainly the English
Hey, Justin, we pull that. Make sure you get the time, 43 in.
But he doesn't
when you do that copy and paste, please. Now that I know you're doing it.
If I'm the VAR, I'm not sending down this play for review.
Thank you very much indeed, Joe. Yeah, that would be crazy if that was ruled out. It was just a great leap, wasn't it?
It's a great point by Dr. Joe. The first corner of the match, England had two players pulled down, and the referee let it go. So there's no way you can call a foul there.
Yeah. 2-0, and it could be worse, really, this Iran, because Maguire has hit the bar, and there might have been that penalty that Dr. Joe was telling us about. Now Mount, England just beginning to try to turn it on a little. It's interesting, Gareth Southgate, speaking a little earlier this week, was saying it's time to take the shackles off. All
right, Molly, have a good night.
He has been criticised.
What's up, Stephen Smith?
Cautious.
Missed a couple goals, buddy. And a bloody mess by the goalie.
Against Iran, right?
Yeah.
Will they do it against the U.S. or they do it against better opponents?
Well, England look like they fancy this now. Kane gets another.
Oh my lot, another one that quickly. Holy hell. Wow.
David Beckham among those celebrating.
And I said earlier, the point of breaking pressure is to go quickly and beat a team that's unorganized. So England break the pressure, good individual play by Bellingham. And Kane knows where he wants the ball to be served when he gets here, and he says, I'm going to do the same thing.
Jess, that's okay. He's just saying there was a goal. That's all right.
Putting Iran under pressure.
He's not putting anything bad in.
3-0 England.
I don't care if they put, put the hey goal or like Stephanie did. They're not trying to put details or override.
That is outside
we
of
want to
the
let people
just trying to get
participate like that.
When you scored like that in training, I used to have a coach tell me you just can't teach things like that. That's instinct. Fantastic finish by Raheem.
I don't know if Iran can come back from this.
3 goals at the European Championships. He never scored.
Especially, it's got to be tough losing their top goalie.
He's got one now
in the
World Cup as well. He's
they got to be horrible.
To score for Toffee really for ages for his club Chelsea. Maguire having a fine match, it has to be said, making the challenge.
Why is a hockey thing coming up? Stream Elements, what are you doing?
It's going to be 14
I don't need
minutes
that Stream Elements.
added on here because of the quite correct
Hey, JC Skipper Brian, what's up?
To look at
I'm watching it on FS1.
Goalkeeper who had to
FS1 is where I'm watching.
In the early stages here. Well, England not only on their way to 3 points, but also a very healthy goal difference in this group as well. Here's Bellingham again. Kirosh took a gamble with his selection. I don't think many of the reporters who follow the team could believe he'd left outside Eza Touhali, who always plays as the holding midfield player, not selected for this game. And, well, there's going to be a fair amount of comment about that, the way this has developed. Trippier.
No wonder, I turned it off on the other one.
Corner kick. There is a dispirited look about Iran.
And the problem right now is normally you see 48 minutes on the clock and you think, hey, maybe a minute or two more. Still 11 more minutes for England to get a fourth or perhaps a fifth and just firmly put this thing to bed.
Trippier will be in charge of a lot of set pieces. This time it's comfortably defended by the Iranians.
That was a mess. Steven, what a collision, right?
Saka in there. Keeps coming back, doesn't it?
And Jesse, I'm okay with Stephanie Keel
Positioning
putting
from
stuff,
John
obviously.
Stones there, excellent. Not
knows
allowing
what she's
Iran
doing.
to get out. I talked about it earlier. You have to end that counter immediately so you can continue to pile on pressure. Really good by John Stones, who oftentimes does the same thing at Man City.
Hit that subscribe if you're new today. We're love you to come back for more matches.
Times and Kane hasn't got one. Still time.
His dentist gotta love it. There's the comment of the
I
day.
would bet a decent amount of money he's going to score before the day's over.
I'll remind you of that in the 89th minute.
England's had this possession 79% of the game so far.
Goal here. Phil Foden of Manchester City was a casualty of his selection. Has to wait on the bench for his chance today. Loves to feed it wide. To go out the window a bit really for Iran now. How do they go about this? Because their plan was to defend deep and frustrate England, but they've not really managed to be able to do that. Cheshmi getting that one away. Later today on Fox, it's Senegal against the Netherlands and the USA.
We're not doing the Senegal game, but I am doing the USA game at 1 o'clock.
10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. Basically, right after this. Remember this game in the US group. Group B of the World Cup here on day 2 of the competition. So much drama, so many stories about to unfold. Some of them will be surprising stories as well. This one, not so. The form book is being obeyed. Saka. Look to work a little 1-2 there with Mount. Said, Landon, that this is a difficult time with everything going on in Iran for the Iranian players, isn't it? Some of them haven't celebrated goals in preparation games. We saw them not singing the anthem.
Yeah, in the end, Ian, they're human beings, and how could you not be impacted? And, you know, I just think probably the emotional toll has taken over some of them, and they just look a little bit lifeless at this point.
Rice goes for the long ball. Sterling had made a run in behind, didn't quite get to him. Majid Hosseini. Iran, who qualified in the Asian section with 3 games to spare in the end, but they fired the guy that got them there, Dragan Skokic, amid the divisions and tension and politics at the Iranian Federation. Stones for England. Bit of an armchair ride really for them so far. Of course, much stiffer tasks lie ahead. And Shafi just can't keep the ball. Iran, not at all. They badly need half-time, don't they?
The problem when you're defending for this period of time and stretches this long is when you do win the ball, your energy's gone. You can't then keep the ball, so it becomes a vicious cycle of chasing, win the ball, give it away, chase, win the ball, give it away, and keep chasing. And that's what it's turned into in this first half.
Maguire again. At times it looks like one of those attack v defense training sessions.
I enjoyed those ones.
Who won?
Always the attack.
I've got no evidence to the contrary, so I'll take your word for that.
Can you come here to the office, please?
By Poro Laganji, who was part of the team that beat Morocco in Iran's first game 4 years ago. They won it with a 95th minute own goal. Got 4 points, but this is already looking like a mountainous task for them in this group, the way it started. Rice didn't win the header. Taremi can pick it up here. He's got Jahanbash pulling into some space. Here's Hajsafi this time. And an opportunity maybe for Jahanbash, which he does.
That's the first real opportunity they've had.
Attempt at a controlled volley into the roof of the net.
First real opportunity for Iran here. Comes off a turnover. Little complacent from England. Probably would have been offside there anyway. But for kids watching at home, when you lean back like Jahanbash did there, oftentimes the ball goes over the net. You got to lean forward, keep your body forward, your body weight forward, and that allows it to stay down.
Still in this extended 14-minute period of overtime at the end of the first half because of the injury to the Iran goalkeeper Alireza Berenvan. Well, it's a magnificent start to the World Cup, this for England, no two ways about it. And something of a horror story for Iran. And a couple of outstanding finishes.
Was England obviously one of the favorites in this?
This one round the corner, Kane with a somewhat sloppy layoff. Referee wants to pull the play back here for an England free kick. I think he was just waiting to see whether an advantage had accrued.
In this game, okay.
For Gareth Southgate and Carlos Queiroz, as you go into halftime here, your idea of what the match was going to look like, I think, has changed. And
who's the overall favorite to win the whole thing?
I don't think they would have expected it to be 3-0 like this at halftime. But your calculation now is, do you get some players off the field if you're England to rest them? If you're Iran, do you do the same, knowing that if you're not careful, this could be 4 or 5 or 6 and your World Cup's basically over? I think if they keep it at 3, it's potentially still an opportunity to get through. But that's what the coaches are talking about. I see Carlos Queiroz and his assistants debating now, and it's different than a match that's close, where you might think about how you can tactically impact the match. Now you're thinking about the future a little bit.
England plotting maybe some more misery from
Jesse,
this
what's the
weekend.
temperature like over there? What's the weather like outside? I assume it's hot.
Shaw to play it in. It was aimed towards Maguire. England still have Kyle Walker, an important defender, to come back. He's been out for a month or so at Manchester City with a groin injury, but is ahead of schedule in his rehabilitation, and we do expect him to be able to play some part of this World Cup. Calvin Phillips is another player who's been out a long time this season, but he's in the squad as well. I wonder whether he might be given some minutes in the second half in this situation. Maguire was just caught, but he...
Hey, who are the top favorites in the knockout stages, Rob? Do you know offhand? Because I don't.
I think Maguire wants to make this World Cup. He's got a comeback concert, Landon.
He's certainly done that so far. Let's hope it continues.
Morning, Angela. Samuel B, the experience.
And that is half-time, and that's
a great hockey creator in his own right there, everybody.
Needed by Iran. England, a dream start to the World Cup, leading 3-0 here at half-time. Let's hand it back to Tom Rinaldi.
Half-time.
The 2022 FIFA World Cup halftime show on FS1, presented by Verizon. Well, England's World Cup campaign off to a roaring start. Could hardly go any better.
Argentina, really?
On the Verizon halftime show.
Oh, that's
we'll
it?
show you
I thought it was
all
like in the
3
90s
of the
or
Lions'
something.
goals, and a report from the U.S. camp ahead of their opener. And we'll get you ready for the rest of the action on day 2 of this World Cup.
Argentina as a top contender. It's kind of wild with soccer or football, European football. You get, unique countries that are the top contenders for stuff that you don't usually hear for, like a baseball or American football or something like that. So, what time does Argentina play tomorrow? I gotta look and see who's scheduled. What times tomorrow? Let me look at the guide here. Never forget about, Brazil, Germany, France, England, Spain. That makes sense. So let's go up 24 hours.
Now what? Here's what. You connect with Credential's rock-solid team, serving over 50 million people with investment, insurance, and retirement know-how.
Denmark and Tunisia at 8 o'clock. Argentina and Saudi Arabia play at 5 a.m. Argentina, Saudi Arabia. Canada's looking to make some noise this year, Sam says.
Pressure makes diamonds.
So you got a game at 5, a game at 8. And then I think the rest of the day they're on Fox.
The hottest footwear from Jordan, Nike, and Hoka. And the coolest apparel from all the best brands. Plus, must-have gifts from Yeti, Callaway, and the North.
So what's the 1 o'clock game on Fox tomorrow? Mexico and Poland play tomorrow on Fox at 11. So Mexico and Poland play tomorrow at 11. France and Australia play at 2. Whoa, hey, he's already been fed. Yeah, it happened last night during the live show. Kind of crazy, huh? All right, I'll have to figure out. We're going to do some games tomorrow. I got to figure out what those games are going to be. I'd imagine it'll be 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock is what we'll do tomorrow. 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock, I imagine. But I'll figure that out. I'll work on that in between these two games as to what matches we're going to do tomorrow.
This holiday season, Ford wants to help you shine bright. So, this Black Friday, choose a vehicle in stock or simply place a custom order. Lock in your rate.
I have to pull up the schedule, I guess. FIFA World Cup schedule. Yeah, I think that's what it'll be tomorrow. And I guess Wednesday, you got a couple good ones in there. Andrew, what's up? Welcome in, dude. Welcome in, Andrew.
Clint and our resident sage at the end of the desk. Well, when you take a look at what this might mean for England, when they score in their opener, they seem to build a lot of momentum. Let's not delay. Let's get right to the highlights.
What's up, Timothy?
If we take a look at just who comes out, there's a different kind of royalty as we see Beckham, but a frightening moment. Ali Reza Baranvan, the keeper for Iran. The frightening collision here in the opening moments. See, a difficult contested ball, and there you see the difficult collision, and he gets carted off, giving way to a backup keeper, and Clint, England takes advantage.
Yeah, they were firing on all cylinders. It was just a matter of time before they got that goal. And with Declan Rice sitting in the middle, it allowed Bellingham to get forward. Great cross from Shaw. Bellingham opening his account, his first goal for England, being the youngest player on the team at 19. What a way to open your account. Look at the celebrations here. They want the trophy to come home, and wow, what a goal.
Wow, what a waste of beer. All right, here we go. Youngsters, here we go. 21-year-old at the top of the box. By the way, England is phenomenal on set pieces. U.S. better be keeping an eye on that as they're scouting ahead for that next game. Dwyer just drops it down to the top of the box. Here, Saka just boom, off the left foot. Gets a little deflection and upper 90. England cruising.
And the confidence was really flowing off this goal. Harry Kane gets the ball out onto the right. Look at this no-look pass. Doesn't even look where his teammate is. Sterling outside of the boot. How dare you, Sterling? What fantastic skill. Absolutely brilliant. 3-0
Absolutely brilliant. I agree.
First time England has scored 3 goals in the opener since 1982. Well, later today, the U.S. national team takes center stage. The Americans finally begin their World Cup campaign against Wales live.
Zakari, welcome in. Sergio, welcome in.
Team to arrive in Qatar. They've been prepping for their opener.
Welcome in, Sergio. Welcome in, Zakari.
From the American camp, coming up after the break.
I'm new in town. Maybe I should get a cap.
Anybody that's new today, hit that subscribe. We're going to be covering a ton of games through this. We'd love for you to come back.
Tulsa King, new series now streaming.
Are those lizard boots you're wearing?
Made in Texas, just like me.
Made in Italy, like my old man.
Exclusively on Paramount Plus.
The world doesn't come together like this very often. But when it does, the results can be extraordinary. Qatar is committed to that idea and growing its potential. As a partner, and innovator, with possibilities that are unlimited and rewards that are priceless. Let the world play and become part of our story.
Señoras y señores, it's Walmart's Black
Oh,
Friday.
good. I don't want to hear about that. Anybody here for the first time on our channel? First time on our channel. Say hello in the chat. Let me know. First timer. We'd love to welcome you in. Love to know what you think of how we're doing it. This is the first time I've ever done soccer. Just curious what you're thinking. 2 o'clock today, we're doing USA and Wales. I think that's on Fox, actually, today.
We know you're clean. We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
The new 2023 GMC Sierra AT4X is equipped to conquer the great outdoors. Or
Yep, 2 o'clock today, we're doing that.
welcome to the peak of premium off-roading. The new 2023 GMC Sierra AT4X. GMC, we are professional grade.
Waiting for them to come back from commercial. Lazy Drew, what's up? England was dominating over Iran. Yes, they were. Lazy, what's up? Welcome in. I'll be doing England versus USA on Friday as well here. We'll be doing that as well. We also do hockey. We do Olympic hockey and NHL hockey on this channel. We also do NBA basketball, college basketball on this channel.
Bowl, chicken, pinto beans, U13. Smallest plate, quicker moves, extra block. Germany, U.S. national team, world stage. Still determined, always Chipotle.
Back up in the house. Watching a little soccer. Nice. Bro, are you eating my Lay's?
Yep. It's the FIFA World Cup. And it's football.
Those are chips.
Crisps.
But that is soccer.
No, my friend, that is football.
Okay. Definition. Soccer is a round ball. Football is an oval ball. Like those golden balls.
I own my own soccer team. I know.
You just said the word soccer.
Don't forget the chips for the FIFA World Cup.
That's actually a great commercial. That's a great commercial.
The 2022 FIFA World Cup halftime show on FS1 is presented by Verizon.
After missing out in 2018, the United States back at the World Cup on the biggest stage. Later today, they face Wales. For the latest,
that'll be fun to watch. That was great, wasn't it? That was a great commercial.
Well, Tom, we've been talking about how unique this World Cup is. Qatar, the size of Connecticut, which means once you're in country, no more flying. Greg Berhalter told me that he shared this message with his guys. Unpack your bags, put your books away, hang up your clothes, because we plan to be here for a while. Midfielder Weston McKennie told me that those words really put the guys at ease. They're comfortable here. They're training at the same facility, staying at the same hotel. And even though the World Cup opener is today, in their minds, they plan to be here for a while. Tom?
U.S. Wales, the final match of our triple header today. Also on Fox, reigning African champions Senegal will battle the Netherlands in a Group A encounter. Well, here's your first half moment.
Hey, we're not doing that
by Verizon. 19 years old, Jude Bellingham. Clint Dempsey tipped him, and he came through. The first teenager to score for England at a World Cup since Michael Owen in 1998. The Dortmund midfielder leaving his mark against Iran. The second half next.
All right, second half kickoff coming. Hope you're having a good time watching today. If you are, hit us up with a follow. We'll be doing a lot more games. I'll schedule tomorrow, Wednesdays. I'm going to do some Thursday. I'm going to do a game Thursday morning before I do the NFL. And we'll do them on Friday and Saturday as well. Going to be a lot of soccer coming this week on this channel.
You need to finish the special effects. And if you want to save by bundling home and car insurance, you need Geico.
We are 13 subscribers away from 500. At least like to get that goal today. That would be kind of cool if we could kick that between the two streams.
You could say I'm a realist.
Senegal has a lot of players that play top flight in France. Interesting. Learn something new. Learn something new.
Fantastic. Wonderful, Charlie. Love the ribbons. Far be it from me to tell you what to believe in, but I believe in Rakuten.
Happy holidays, Mr. Scrooge.
Happy holidays, Mr. Scrooge.
You need a better network. Tis the season to switch to Verizon. Tis. You get a free 5G phone when you do. Plus, Verizon gives you another great gift, a tablet.
It's an old French colony? Okay. I'm learning all kind of new stuff today. I never paid attention in geography in school. I should have paid more attention. If I'd have known I've been doing this Sunday, I'd have paid more attention.
Thanksgiving in Big Green, highlight of the season.
It's a big stage vibe.
You're a part of so many families. I'm fired up. This is Giants.
We will be doing all 3 American football games, NFL games, Thanksgiving Day on our primary channel. Somebody could drop the link for that if anybody wants to go over and give that a follow. We can. This is our secondary channel.
Blend of red peppers and spices makes your food more flavorful. Pizzas, ribs, hot wings, dips, and soups will deliver a more tangy, delicious taste. With Tapatio, you get a boost of exceptional flavors, a zesty of spiciness, and a fuller, richer taste. Always the perfect amount of heat every time. America loves.
They're advertising this Tapatio hot sauce, and they're showing people eating food, but nothing's coming out of the bottle to put hot sauce on the food. That was a really bad commercial. Really bad. All right, here we are coming back. Let's do it.
Welcome back to the Khalifa International Stadium just west of Doha. Iran making 3 substitutions as they trail 3-0 at half-time to England in an incident-packed first half, which also include Alireza Behranvan, the Iranian goalkeeper, having to go off with what looked like concussion. 3 new players coming on. Among them a player we thought would start the game. He usually does for them. Saeed Ezzatullahi, the central midfield player. Also coming on.
All right, here we go.
Ali Golizadeh, who will play further forward on the right-hand side. And number 13, that is Hossein Kanani, defender.
Thank you.
Looks like Jahanbash, who'd been booked, is one of those who's gone off. 3-0 to England. The goal difference situation is quite important here, isn't it, for Iran? They don't want any further damage.
It is, and for England as well. I think England will feel very confident they're going to get through the group, but you never know. And every goal in the first round of a World Cup is vital.
Sorry, Landon Pickford nearly caught out there. Quite clear that Iran have come out trying to high press England at the start of the half. Ezzatullahi, who we thought would definitely start, he nearly always does. He's on there now. I think Cheshme's another of those who's gone off. Jahanbash, Cheshme and Karimi is the other player who's gone off, just to tidy that up. Here's Moharami, who plays in the Champions League, or has done this season for Dinamo Zagreb, and that's a loose ball by Golizadeh, one of the substitutes. It was picked up by Bellingham. Saka rather left the ball behind for a moment. Kane to pick it up. Kane's is just a creator as he is scorer these days. Some of his passing from deep positions, quite sumptuous. little bit of pressure. Out forward by Rice, but this might leave gaps behind for England to exploit, so there's danger in this for Iran.
That's exactly right, Ian. This is going to be
offsides.
Very interesting to watch. There's a tactical side. We don't want to make this 4, 5, or 6 if you're Carlos Queiroz. However, if you go after England and you don't win the ball, tons of space behind for some very, very talented attacking players.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of guys doing
Kane.
Headers on some hard
licked the ball away from him, but the referee's whistle blows, and there will be a yellow card for Pregame.
Got a man down.
Kane stays down.
Tripping and rolled his ankle.
It's been an alarming sight for England supporters and indeed for Gareth Southgate.
That's painful.
He's had a lot of trouble in the past with ankle injuries.
Got doctors out checking him out now.
Quite often led to 2-month breaks in his career for ankle ligament damage. He's even hired,
I guess you could have a lot of ligament damage in soccer.
Medical people to try to offset any injuries to that area. Let's have a look at this. Ooh.
Ouch. And this is a huge concern, Ian. That's really painful, and the challenge at halftime, certainly not going to second guess Sarah.
Painful.
However, the last thing you need at this point is an injury that can impact your World Cup, and that man not being able to play would severely hurt England's chances of going far in the tournament.
It would indeed. It's the last man they want to see injured.
Good morning, Paul.
On his feet and looks like he can put weight on it. So maybe it's something of a false alarm.
Let's hope so. Now, I wouldn't mind if he just took a rest 4 days from now and decided to make sure it's fully healed.
Just confirmation of that yellow card for Pregame, who played well at the last World Cup. Remember him making any number of excellent saving tackles. Trippier, who scored in the semi-final of the World Cup last time after 5 minutes against Croatia. Looks like he's interested in hitting this one. Kane's come back on, moving freely.
Marky Dew, what's up, buddy? Marky Dew and Paul joining us.
25 yards out, Trippier into the wall.
Oh.
Back across to Luke Shaw, who's had an excellent game so far. The Manchester United man. Attempted back heel to release Harry Kane. Trippier's the latest player down with a knock.
We got another Blackhawk down.
And Maguire knocks it out of play so that Trippier can get some treatment.
So if a player's down, they just keep playing. Looks like he hurt his big toe. I don't want to hear him whining. At least he's got one.
Yeah, it looks like it. And again, all of these little plays are worrying if you're an England fan.
And the boots are flimsier these days, aren't they, as well? That's why you see more metatarsal injuries. I'm not suggesting that.
Thank you, Kenneth H. Received $5 from Kenneth H. Wishing for the deuce to get to 500 today. So 500 cents hoping. Tipping the deuce. Thank you, Kenneth H. That's very nice of you, sir.
Tries to find a place in the team for him.
That's our first soccer super chat ever. That's history on the channel happening all day today.
That face paint's expensive, you know.
And Kenneth H., congratulations on your nomination.
Maguire.
Angela Minta's in here. She received the nomination. Paul.
Come on, Kanani.
Jesse on the other night.
You can sometimes make things happen. Taremi trying to get in there, but Maguire again with the important foot in for England.
Players will kick it out of play. I just saw that, Rob. I just learned something new. Watch that. That's pretty cool. Got to do what you got to do.
Here's Taremi again.
Oh, I went to do my fist bumps, and I just realized I don't have any fist bumps.
Since making his move there.
You know, when you're losing 3-0 at halftime, there are tactical adjustments, but this also is a
So you use a soccer ball. Oh, that's a good idea.
Iran team, and
that's a great idea.
I think that's part of the reason why they're coming after England early is you have to have pride in playing for your country in a World Cup, and they're not just going to sit in and allow it to happen.
Here's Bukayo Saka.
I like it.
Bellingham.
Yes, congrats to all those. Although I will put it, I should. Oh, just missed it. When we did the voting and got it all together, Sebastian de Crab came back and said, "Whatever you do, do not put Jesse in."
He's been fantastic.
And I'm like, "That's not
see
right."
the confidence
She said, "I hate the weather. It's always raining at my house. I'm holding Jesse accountable."
They've been very dangerous
said,
today.
"Sebastian, that's not right to say that."
Another set piece.
And she said Paul can't get in because he likes the Washington Capitals.
Get on the end of something.
He's not a
he
Flyers fan.
does.
I'm like, I can't do that either.
It's a bit of a miscue by the sub-goalkeeper, Hosseini. Now Rice. Another England corner. Declan Rice, now the West Ham United captain. They've been having a difficult time of things this season, but he's very
She
much
said
their
Paul
torchbearer.
will get her vote when he wears a gritty costume. I have no idea what that meant. I think it was something involved, something sadomasochistic like Tina likes.
That's Maguire going for it again, doesn't win that header. Mason Mount.
I'm surprised the fans aren't like more loud during the match. Are they just being quiet because like the game's kind of 3-0?
Final Mount getting the cross in that won't
They're
be a
not like
problem.
really going
Last
crazy.
time
What's up? I
England
know my
scored 3
rights.
goals in the opening match of the
expected
World
the
Cup was
fans to be more
1982 against France. And Brian Robson scored after 27 seconds that day, one of the quickest goals in World Cup history. England won 3-1. It was given away, nearly went through for maybe Taremi. Again, great work by Maguire. Kane working well.
Oh, breakaway!
Real good chemistry between those two.
Oh, good defense.
Yes, good covering in that Iranian defense in the end. Majid Hosseini got across.
Harry Kane, obviously known for his goal scoring. Look how clever this little flick is, Ian. Sent Sterling on his way. Good defending in the end.
Thank you for subscribing, Ahmed.
Corner kick for England now.
Corner kick for England, who are ranked number 5 in the world in the FIFA rankings.
Ahmed, subscribing to the channel.
Because England are hitting outswingers, Harry Maguire and John Stones starting a little further away from goal, getting time to run and meet the ball on impact.
What's up, Nick? Welcome in.
Going to get to the near post where Rice attacked it. England look hungry for more, don't they? Remember, 3 games in the group, the top 2 in each group.
I mean, there's a lot of people when they showed the stands
16
from both countries.
The bottom 2 in the group get an early plane home.
If I was, if I'd have won the lottery or something, I'd have gone to this just to check it out.
Your fate can be decided in about 8 days, can't it, at this thing? If you're not careful.
If Iran aren't careful, it could be decided in the next 40 minutes.
Noor Alahi to pick it up for them. And they've tried to come out with a little bit more tempo, a little bit more edge.
Kind of different how the
second
clock
half. They
counts
went
up.
in looking
I'm not
a
used
little
to that.
sorry for themselves. Kanani to play it long. Later today on Fox, it's Senegal against the Netherlands. An intriguing game, that one, from Group A, and the USA taking on Wales. USA first game of this World Cup coverage of those two games starting at 10 a.m. Eastern and 7 a.m. Pacific. And if you want to know the USA kickoff time, that's 2 p.m. Eastern. Here's Bellingham. Saka again has kept his selection with a goal. Sterling had an overload on the left-hand side there, unable to use it. Handball.
Handball. I thought they were calling high kicking.
Free kick.
Like hockey. Guy's legs were way up in there.
Taremi there, who missed a huge chance at the last World Cup against Portugal. If he put it in, it would have taken Iran through to the knockout stages, and he's kind of been haunted by that ever since.
Good morning, Liam.
Well, they never have advanced from the group in their 5 World Cups to date. Saka again. Bellingham. He did pretty well.
Oh, blasted it. Blocked.
Again, they get the block in Shaw, who scored after 2 minutes in the Euro final last year. One criticism made of Gareth Southgate in England over the last 3 or 4 years has been that they haven't been ruthless enough. They led against Croatia in that World Cup semi 4 years ago, ended up losing.
I'm doing soccer at 2 o'clock for the United States,
in the European Championship final. Didn't
you can always look at my upcoming streams, buddy, on the channel,
losing it on
and see what we're doing.
So,
at any
do you
time.
think there's a lesson to be learned for them at this tournament?
Yeah, I'm not sure in this game, right? This game is different. However, fear is the most powerful emotion in this game, and you score a goal early, it's easy to then sit back, try to protect the lead. The reality is the best teams in the world go and go and go and keep scoring and keep attacking. It's the hardest thing to do, though, Ian.
Iran trying to attack now with Taremi. And the long distance effort was from what? Fully 40 yards from Ezzatolahi.
That's pretty cool. I missed it. I'll have to go back and rewatch that.
Optimistic side.
Certainly optimistic, but you know what, Ian? He's come into the game and provided a little bit of heart, pride, some character. He had a header on this touchline over here. It's really, really.
Hey, that look came out good. I just redid that. That came out good.
There's the man who knows. Nearly 70 years of age now. Carlos Queiroz. He is a charmer. Always very approachable, very friendly. What's interesting, he didn't sing the Iranian anthem either. Third time in charge of Iran at a World Cup here.
I didn't sing the Iranian national anthem either, I got to be honest.
Is Sterling.
Just
Kanani
being
didn't manage
upfront.
to make the challenge, and Saka's got an opportunity, working it onto that left foot as he likes to do.
Boom, baby, on the left foot. Wow. Yeah, that dude can play.
Well, this all starts with Raheem Sterling, who's been excellent tonight, showing off all his quality on one play here.
We might get over 500 followers today. That would be kind of cool. Get us halfway home to that first 1,000.
Into Saka, onto his left foot, and just passes it into the corner. 4-0 England. And the route continues.
Well, they just let Saka, as if they hadn't done any homework on him, work it onto his left foot and score.
That was my next point, Ian. You get in tough situations at times when you're defending. It's going to happen against a quality team like England. Put him on his right foot. How many times have you seen him score with his right foot? Not many. How many times have you seen him score with his left foot? Many. Put him on his right foot. Do the job.
Well, they didn't do the job. Iran are going to make another substitution. Confirmation. It's only the fourth time England have scored 4 goals in a World Cup match. Of course, they did it at the last World Cup against Panama. They did it way back in 1954 in a 4-4 draw with Belgium. That would have been worth watching. And of course, they did it when they won the World Cup in 1966 against what was then West Germany. 4-2. All the goals scored by West Ham players. Declan Rice will know that. 3 for Jeff Hurst, 1 for Martin Peters. Some slick football there from England, it really was. And Sterling couldn't quite control it to continue what had been a fine move until then. Iran playing for their pride now. Mohorami, Nurahi with the cross. It's a bit of a guesswork ball really. Required to get it away. Substitutions coming up here.
How do you know when they're done if they're counting up? Like, where's the clock end?
Wilson of Newcastle United.
What time are you looking to get to?
They've been off the scene really.
What's up, Francisco?
For 3 years, but he's having a fine season for Newcastle, which won him selection. He'll be coming on. Phil Foden of Manchester City. That might be 4, in fact. I think Jack Grealish. Yep, can see him down there as well. More about that in a moment. Here's Mohorami.
Should have asked Preston to come in and go over it. Sorry.
Golizade. Cute ball that.
Iran puts one in.
Brilliantly. That was a
He's taking the soccer ball with him too. He doesn't care. The Iranian player ran in the goal and took the ball.
We said before the game that when he scores, it's usually pretty spectacular. Finally a good build-up from Iran. This time they're the ones overloading the right side. Clever little ball.
No, it's not one and done.
Off the crossbar and in. 4-1.
It's pool play.
Slickly taken. I don't think anybody saw an Iran goal coming. Pickford might have got a fingertip to that. No more, not enough. And Iran,
that's great that he took the ball.
At least some pride with that goal. Goes to 4-1. Harry Maguire, meanwhile, has stayed down after that goal went in.
No, he took it to the sideline.
So there's quite a few little subplots.
I think he wanted it for like a souvenir. Maybe I guess they get to do that. Maybe, I don't know. I don't blame him. If I scored a goal in World Cup, I'd want that too.
Looks like they're checking Maguire for possible concussion as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely does. And again, these are scary moments if you're England for a lot of reasons. You don't want
that's a beautiful
injured.
Iranian woman there.
Dr. Joe's been watching all this, and I think
look at all the people from Iran there. That's awesome.
Absolutely. So if Iran tries to make another substitution, they've already bought 4 players plus the goalkeeper. We'll know if they properly use the color-coded substitution card for the concussion substitute, because at the beginning of the game, each team is given 5 substitution cards and a color-coded substitution card for the concussion. And there are, as we await this possible, another
Marco Nunez, what's up?
Substitution. There's actually Protocol A and Protocol
It is to kick off quickly?
Concussion substitutions. MLS uses Protocol
Thank you, Marco. I thought he was getting it for like a souvenir. Like, I mean, if you watch guys in the NFL and they score their first touchdown or they score a Super Bowl touchdown, they want the ball. I thought it was like that, but thank you, Marco.
Substitution is made, the other
it looked like he was running off with it, but Marco knows more than I do.
But they still have a concussion substitution, which might be what we're seeing here. I hope I didn't confuse you all.
We got another concussion
Just to
scenario here
clarify,
going
Dr.
on.
Joe, England only have 5 substitutions to make, regardless of whether it was a concussion sub or not.
That's correct, but they do have their own concussion substitution, which if they use the color-coded card here, then they would have 6.
Understood.
I like how the player's leaving for concussion protocol, and his teammate just smacked him in the back of the head and said, glad you're okay.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, it is quite complicated. Maguire is coming off, feeling a little groggy, and Eric
He's
Dyer,
going into the
Tottenham
tent.
Hotspur, who probably would have started had England gone with a back 3 today. He's coming on now. Dyer, of course, made a
I
bit
still
of
think
World
they ought
Cup
to give that
history,
guy the
scored a
ball.
decisive penalty when England won their first World
They
Cup
got plenty of
penalty
them there.
shootout against Colombia 4 years ago. Still waiting to make those substitutions. England, Marcus Rashford, I think is going to come on as well. He's been in pretty good form for Manchester United. Didn't see any of those coloured concussion cards for the Maguire one, did you? But we might not have done.
No, I
Dude,
didn't.
that goalie
but
kicked
I
it the
guess you
whole
just don't
side of
know.
the field. Holy hell.
For sure, until we get some clarity.
I know this field is bigger than a standard American football field. That guy just kicked it the whole field.
Here's Dyer. Picked up here by Rice. And you just have to be a little careful that they don't get complacent. Iran are starting to do things. Golizade again to set up the goal, get the block in, and then Noor Lahi. And at that moment, Jordan Pickford, the England goalkeeper, comes out to berate his defenders, who he thinks have kind of gone to sleep. Dyer replacing Maguire. Now with an interesting background, although he's English, he actually learnt his trade in Portugal with Sporting Lisbon, Sporting Club de Portugal, as they are officially called. Saka's coming off by the look of things, having delivered 2 goals. You wouldn't want to be taken off in a World Cup game when you were on a hat-trick, would you, Landon?
Certainly not. And I would say, if you are Hosseini, Kanani, or Porle Ganji, you imagine facing
20 minutes left. Really?
Saka, Sterling, Kane for this long, and you look up and you have to see Foden.
All right, Marky, have a good night. Or have a good day. I think it's
Callum
nighttime
Wilson
already.
coming into the match.
Maybe see you later
It's not going to
sometime.
make you very happy.
And Jack Grealish,
And oh, by the way, Jack Grealish.
who cost $125 million, or roughly that. I'm not sure quite what the latest currency exchanges is. That seems to change quite a bit these days. So Grealish is on.
Oh, and I guess I was mistaken there. I guess with the Harry Maguire sub, they didn't put Callum Wilson in. But I would expect that'll happen at some point here.
Yeah, he was a bit unlucky there. Here's Kane. Rashford's first involvement is an opportunity. And he might score with his...
Oh, my Lord, they got another one.
As well, Marcus Rashford. This is extraordinary, really.
And it's almost a carbon copy
Gotcha.
of Saka's goal. Harry Kane showing all his quality. Touch, pass, and watch Rashford set it up, sell the shot with his right, roll it in with his left foot. 5-1. Welcome to the Qatar World Cup, Mr. Rashford.
That was a nice goal right there.
Cool as you like, wasn't it?
Fantastic.
He was honoured.
He split 2 defenders to get that. That was pretty
for
impressive.
his work helping poverty-stricken children get free school meals. He even got a phone call from President Obama to thank him for that work. He delivers a World Cup goal.
Yeah, high-scoring game. Real high scoring.
Well, I would venture to suggest, unless something dramatic happens here, and in the next week or so, Iran's chances at this World Cup have all but evaporated. Don't forget the US facing Wales in their opening World Cup match later today on Fox. Coverage beginning at 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific for the USA-Wales game. Join John Strong and Stuart Holden for commentary on that. It'll be fascinating to see what happens in that match.
Oh, tripping!
That's a moment for Marcus Rashford, who has had a difficult time over the last year or so, particularly last season, but did a lot of specialised fitness work in the summer to come back fit and strong and sharp, and he's been much better in recent months. And I think you saw his level of confidence there on the way he took the goal, Landon.
Yeah, it's fun to watch, and when he's at his best, he's electric.
Bellingham to spread the play towards Trippier. Mustafi looks like he's gone back to his left back position. And with the many changes, there's Otolahi. Referee waved play on. They've tried to be a little bit bolder in this second half, Iran, but you can't say it's really paid off.
That is a huge field now that I look at it.
It's just such a difficult position to be in.
Monster
down
field.
3 goals. You want to get something out of the game. You want to put on a performance that you can be proud of. The challenge is you just open yourself up, and England have been ruthless.
These are very, very early days. It's worth stressing that at this World Cup there can be so many twists and turns. Well, here's a story. Sardar Azmoun, the striker who's been very vociferous in his criticism of the Iranian regime, has been out injured for several weeks now with a calf injury, and he's going to come on. Looks like Harry Kane. We're going to just wrap him in cotton wool. Not any further risks with the star man, and Callum Wilson does get on in the end of a Newcastle player. Goals to 1, and it looks like it's going to be England's record opening day win in any World Cup in their history.
Wow. History in the making all day today. I am going to go take a nap.
Few days of any World Cup.
VP!
You get your first glimpse of
What's
all
up?
the teams and just start to make 1 or 2 assessments.
There's so much hope too. Every team has hope. If you're Iran or Wales, you can advance out of the group. Maybe when not expected to.
Here's Taremi again. He's got another opportunity.
Oh!
And this time he makes a mess of it.
They had another opportunity. Iran did for a goal there.
Space quite cleverly though.
Good timing, good run from Taremi. But just got the shot wrong.
And Azmoun gets a big reception. Very big reception from the Iran fans. So I think he's a little bit of a hero to
there you go, VP.
Many of them for speaking up in the way that he has. One of his quotes was, "Long live Iranian women."
Tina's back. Tina, you missed when we were talking about something. I don't know, something about you. I don't remember what it was.
He's a good player as well. 41 goals in 65 caps.
It's a shame he wasn't fit to play 90 minutes
Good
today.
deal, Kenneth. Thank you, buddy.
Together are very good.
Percentage is 77-23. It's crazy, right?
Foden again. He's a very good player to be able to bring on from the substitutes bench. Grealish now. Rashford again. A lot of white shirts to aim at. Looks like quite a few of them have got ambitions to get themselves on the score sheet, doesn't it now?
I've been in games like this, unfortunately not in a World Cup, but you feel like there's opportunities to score, and you just go and go and go.
How big a confidence, morale booster is this for England at the start of a World Cup? Because remember, they've gone into this competition having not won in 6 matches.
We spoke earlier about the importance in the standings on the table of winning your first match, but there's a psychological piece too that's crucial. As the U.S. go into their Wales game in a few hours here, same thing. It's not just a point or 3 points in the table. It's psychologically, do you build confidence and feel like you can actually progress, and this is big for England to start the tournament.
Grealish. John Stones. Manchester City players everywhere you look around the England squad. It's the return of World Cup tonight. All of these highlights, special guests, some World Cup fun. Kate Abdo, Mo Edu, and America's World Cup fan, Chad Ochocinco, who gets to go to the matches as well, including tonight's USA-Wales match. Then he'll come back and do his report for you. That's tonight, midnight on Fox.
I want to be Chad Ochocinco when I grow up, by the way. He showed up with us on the flight. I said, "What are you doing here?" He said, "Just going to a bunch of games." I said, "Are you working?" He said, "Yeah, kind of, World Cup tonight, but I'm just going to a bunch of matches." I said, "Okay, that sounds fun."
Sounds like a good assignment.
That's a nice gig, yeah.
You just pick your game each day, wander down.
I think I need his agent.
It'll be fun to watch. Bit of cramp by the look of it here, maybe.
Yeah, you got a guy cramping up right now.
He's winning his 122nd cap for Iran. This has been a difficult night for Carlos Queiroz, who is a man with a plan, that's for certain at the start of proceedings. Has to be said, absolutely nothing's gone right, including losing his first choice goalkeeper early on.
I can't help but wonder if his decisions are going to haunt him tonight. He brought 2 guys in who haven't played, didn't play in qualifying. Went to a 3, some version of a 3-5-2, 3-6-1. And the result was this. Goal after goal after goal.
First 3 arrived in the space of 10 minutes. Towards the end of the first half.
England's been non-stop.
And Saka was allowed to waltz through and allow the ball to go onto his left foot as the defenders watched. And then this one from Rashford.
Ian,
we're waiting on an injury right here.
Today is between John Stones, Harry Maguire, and now Eric Dyer and Declan Rice. They've done such a good job ending any possible counter from Iran. It's allowed every attacking player for England to basically do what they want. Foden doing it now too, Grealish as well, Rashford. They can go anywhere they want when they have the ball, attack, 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 because behind them all the fires are being put out immediately, and then they can go and do it again.
Interesting to see how things go later in the tournament. It does look like England will be heavy odds on to progress after this in this group. That's a rare loose ball from Bellingham. Polizade looking for the early ball, trying to get Azmoun in. But honestly, Iran are probably playing for consolation prizes, aren't they now? Dyer. There's Rice. He was joking with his England teammates apparently, and he brought.
They're just kind of working it over right now, kind of just running the clock.
To bring the World Cup back. And I think the answer was more prosaic. He's got a lot of extra England kit that he's got to bring back to London. Good ball, Dyer to Foden, and Foden to Rashford. Having a lot of room. Rashford goes on and on.
Oh!
Finish it. No, you got the block in this time. It's quickly won back by Grealish. Foden. England are really starting to turn it on at times here now.
They're starting to pick it up a little bit with the intensity.
Just full of confidence.
Put another one in.
Phil Foden, this whole sequence. Just coming into the midfield, finding open space, checking his shoulder to see what's around him so he can turn and drive at the Iran back line. Like I said earlier, it'd be a nightmare to look up and see him coming in after dealing with Sterling for that long.
Shaw with the corner kick for England. Kirosh trying to lift the Iranian fans to a bit of extra noise to help his team across the line, but I think probably the truth of this is you probably can't wait for this to finish. Something of a statement display by England in this World Cup curtain raiser for them.
Yeah, great start for England here.
Shaw to fizz it inside towards Callum Wilson. Here's Grealish.
Looks like England just playing keep away right now.
They haven't been able to cope with him since he came on. Marcus Rashford, not at all. Later today on Fox, Senegal against the Netherlands. That's an intriguing clash between the African champions and the Dutch, who've been in 3 finals without ever winning one. The USA taking on Wales. Remember that first USA game, coverage starting of those 2 games, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. As the World Cup story begins to unfold. England playing with a real swagger now from this position.
Wow, great passing.
Rashford, Shaw. Rice just run into trouble. Taremi nicked it away from him like a pickpocket, really. Here's Golazade, who's provided 1 or 2 great moments since he came on, including a cute ball to set up that goal.
Oh, you're fine.
Saini just about got enough on that. Inside to Declan Rice. Shaw's come a long way since he used to do his homework in the back of the car on his way down to the Southampton Academy when he was about 12 years old.
Well, he certainly did his homework today before playing this game. He's been excellent today.
Grealish intercepting that ball from Kanani. England 5, Iran 1 with 3 minutes remaining, plus anything the referee wants to add on. And we were warned at the referee's briefing the other day when I went along that there might be 7, 8, 9 minutes of added time because they're very anxious that there isn't only about 40 or 50 minutes of action in matches, so all the delays will get added on.
To that point, Ian, a lot of times in club football, club soccer, when it gets to a point where there's a blowout like this, they might blow the whistle right at 45, maybe give a minute or two. However, as we've talked about today, goal differential matters, and I'd be curious to see how they handle that. I think you've got to give the time that's supposed to be there, because you never know, an extra time goal could mean advancing or not.
The referees in the 33rd team at this World Cup, they have a meticulous and long preparation. FIFA are anxious that the game is portrayed in the right way. Rashford with the flick, Bellingham to help it on. England might have another chance here. Callum Wilson, he's in here. Is he going to finish it? No, he plays it.
There they do. Good Lord, another one.
They've absolutely
Wow.
run riot here.
This epitomizes England today.
That was just
We'll
a
get
fast
check on
breakaway.
that. He looks onside on first glance. And I love this from Callum Wilson. You can be selfish, or you can make the right pass. And he does the latter. And I love that from him. Says a lot about him as a player and a person. You won't score many easier than that, Jack Grealish. 6-1 England.
Yeah, because he must
After
have
that goal he
dreamed
committed,
of scoring at the World Cup.
once they made
Grealish
that
had the
additional
better
pass, there was nothing to
opportunity.
do.
And Wilson's football brain kicked in. Jack the lad indeed there. I think Iran want the final whistle here to put them out of their misery. It's going to be 10 minutes of added time to underline the point I was making. That's all the substitutions, of which, of course, there are so many these days. Any hold-ups, if there's a goal scored, that adds a bit more as well.
Well, I guess that answers that. They're,
Plus 10.
They're
Plus
the
10.
time that they think is supposed to be there, so.
Some kind of
No, I know.
here today, Landon. 14 minutes at the end of the first half.
I would become
10 at the
hoarse,
end
I
of the
think.
second. In towards Asmoon, but Luke Shaw is there. The perfectionist in those England defenders will be annoyed that they didn't keep a clean sheet. Pickford, especially, has had very little to do, except pick the ball out the back of his net when Taremi scored. Heaviest ever World Cup defeat here for Iran. Bellingham to play it wide. Stones. Gareth Southgate gave a pretty honest answer when he was asked by some of the foreign journalists just before this World Cup. He said, what are you expecting to achieve? And he said, well, we've made a semi-final and a final in the last 2 tournaments. If we don't make the last 4, we will be disappointed.
It's a big statement.
Yeah.
And I think he's right, though. I mean, you look at the quality here that this side have, and it's hard to imagine that they're not going to give any team in this competition problems.
Foden turned cleverly into space. Bellingham. Stones to chip it forward. Bellingham to flick it on again. Grealish will keep that in play. It's becoming almost cool, this. Bellingham. It's a bit of a nightmare, isn't it, for Hussein, who thought he'd be on the bench for the afternoon, comes on and has to concede 6 goals. You couldn't really blame him for many of them, could you?
It's kind of rough when you are that goalie that has to come on and do that. 6 goals
for anything. Just
the
quality of England today has been overwhelming.
Over the years, England have found 1,000 ways to break the hearts of their fans at World Cups. Quite a lot has gone wrong. Sometimes the 3 lions have looked like 11 lambs when they got out on the pitch. Not here, not today. Rice goes off for that drive through the middle of midfield. I think England know, though, and they're respectful enough to know that the USA and Wales will give them a lot more to think about.
They're just killing time right now. Yeah, he's not taking any lip off anybody, that ref.
Flicked on by Foden. Who's just want to give a nudge, don't they, to the manager. Look, this is what I can do if you want to use me. Foden's played like that since he came on. Rashford too. Nice problem to have if you're Gareth Southgate.
I'm trying to figure out how you keep him off the field if you're Gareth Southgate. Obviously, in America, we get the opportunity.
Mahorami getting the crossway towards Azmoun.
We get the opportunity to watch the Premier League a lot, but seeing him in person, he is electric and really fun to watch.
And of course he does that the minute you say that, Landon. Welcome to the curse of the commentator.
I clearly have no idea what I'm talking about.
Don't worry, it happens to all of us that. Frequently, in fact. Here's Azmoun. Mohorami, they've got 3 red shirts waiting in the middle, but Dyer's there with their head out. Strikes me watching this, London, is that sometimes I think England, in common with some other countries, they're coming off the back of maybe a 60-game season when the World Cup's in June. Here, the players are in pretty
I think the defender took the worst of that.
2 or 3 months of the...
Oh, got it, kicked him right to family jewels. The defender definitely took the worst of that.
I played in Major League Soccer, and generally, we were the ones who were fresh. And the European players were coming off a long season, and this is the opposite. All the top players, top teams are in really peak form and fitness at this point. And it'd be really interesting to see how that impacts this tournament.
You could say that with the other teams as well. Yeah, they're nicely revved up, I think, the players. And that will add to the quality of what we see.
No question. The other talking point, Ian, coming into the World Cup in the Middle East was, is the heat going to be a problem? And just going off myself, we're sitting here in suits, and I'm actually a little bit cold.
So am I, yeah.
The air conditioning is clearly working, and
the chance
Breakaway!
To get a second goal.
Oh, he missed it.
I think it was a great save by
Iran
Pickford.
had a
I think he
perfect
got
chance to
something
get a
on that.
second goal right there.
Asmoon denied a goal. He would have been odds on to score.
timing there was excellent, and you're right, Ian. What a save by Jordan Pickford.
Yeah.
Really good technique. He goes down to make the goal as small as possible, keeps his hands up, just touches it onto the crossbar.
Kane, he looked like he was fouled. And get the free kick that they
free
deserve
kick.
that. To their credit, they've given it a go, haven't they, in the second half, but there's been a huge golfing class, truth to tell.
I just want to reiterate, every goal matters, and you never know. You get a goal here at the end, and it could make a difference later in the tournament. You just don't know.
And I think that's how they're approaching it as well. Hash Safi to take it. And in support of your point, Landon, they've got a lot of red shirts in there trying to grab that goal, which just might improve their goal difference by one. As hopeless as their situation looks at the moment.
They do make a lot of noise at soccer games, that's for sure. Paul, I agree with you. They get loud at soccer.
That's something not too friendly to say. At the end of it. Kanani. He says he's less emotional now, Jordan Pickford.
I just watched him scream at Kanani, and then his teammates came in to help him, and he told them to go away and stop being emotional.
This might be a little bit more to add on to the 10 minutes. It's a never-ending story here, isn't it?
You're getting past your bedtime now, Ian.
Yeah. So this game, we reckon, was going to end at about 10 to 6 local time. I've got to tell you, it's now 10 past 6. Now he's going to look here for a possible penalty with that last ball that was played in the area. Let's have a look at this. Dr. Joe, did you see anything here?
Where is he going to look at the penalty?
Before you brought
He's running out of the stadium.
The audience's attention, I was speaking with the producer. I say, I think we got a possible penalty here when the referee was not allowing the throw-in to be taken. That was a clue that the VAR was talking to him. So we got to see if there's a pull down. It's not clear here, and maybe here, but there's a little bit of embellishment. Oh, there's a shirt pull. With the shirt pull, if the referee sees it the same angle that we're seeing, he's going to give a penalty.
I mean, consistency is what matters. Does John Stones grab his shirt? Yeah, but to me, that's less offensive than the ones in the first half against John Stones and Harry Maguire.
Yeah, because the one with Cheshmi,
let's see what the rest
first
are
half,
going to
that was
do.
almost something out of the World Wrestling Federation, wasn't it? That was allowed to go. Is he going to give a penalty for this? I mean, I think what we're saying of academic importance, he's given it. Taremi's going to take it. He's given the penalty for that. I'm with you, Landon, on that. Where's the consistency from the incident that happened in about the second minute of the game?
Yeah, I think that's really poor.
Is that a clear and obvious error?
It's tough to say. I don't know.
One-on-one with the goalie. Here we go. I like this part.
Anyway, maybe Taremi has a chance to get a second goal here right at the end of the game to make this 6-2.
All right, let's see if they've got a good PK team.
Pickford's never saved a penalty for England in normal time. He's done it in the shootout. 6-2 it is. Moving it from 6-1 to 6-2, improving their goal difference by
There
1.
you go.
With his run up, you can tell, selling it that he's going to go across his body. Calmly rolls it into the corner.
Scores his 30th goal for his country. And gives Carlos Queiroz just a measure, a very small measure of consolation. Somewhere amid all of that, the referee's blown the final whistle.
There's your final whistle. Good game, everybody. Come back today for USA, 2 o'clock Eastern time. I don't think I did too bad on my first soccer game. We'll keep working to improve. Appreciate everybody being here. Thank you, moderators, for being up so early with me and helping me today try to figure this out. Hopefully, we'll see you later today. Rex is snoring. That sounds like a good thing. We'll see you soon, everybody. Wow. Congrats, England.